Okay, now that your sign is made, you're like, what is this? And how do I put it on? Let's take a look at some of the items we'll need. We'll need a tape measure, some blue painter's tape, some just regular generic rubbing alcohol. It doesn't have to be, it can be 90%, 70%, doesn't make a difference. A pair of scissors, a squeegee. Some people do use a credit card, some paper towels, and that'll go along with the alcohol. So we'll say this is our surface here. We'll take and use some alcohol to use our cleaning agent and some paper towels to wipe it dry. We want to make sure that this is clean and dry and warm if possible. I'm going to hand the camera to my lovely assistant. So when we go to measure, we'll look at yours first. I would use the bottom of the S and the bottom of the L. So when we're taking our tape measure, we're trying to measure where that sign's going to go square. We're going to find a body line of some kind that's straight, and we'll measure from the bottom of the L to the bottom of whatever our line is, and make sure that they're even, and they're not crooked like this, if that makes sense. So we want to make sure that that L lines up to the same distance. If it's 10 inches from that, it should be 10 inches from the bottom of the S. Okay. So this is our scrap piece. I'm going to show you how we do it. Once we've got it clean and measured and we got it where we want it, we're going to create a tape hinge.
Tape the corners to help you hold it in place.
Yeah. I'm doing this on a flat surface. You're going to be doing it upright. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll put a little tape here and a little tape here to kind of hold it.
As you measure it.
As we're measuring it, yep. And so we'll kind of lift and twist, we're like, oh, that's all right. That's about our height there. And we'll come up here, we're like, all right, that's our height there. So we'll measure, we're like, all right, that looks good, 5 inches, that looks good. And we'll go side to side, make sure it's where we want it. And then we stand back and go, that looks good, right? We got it all square. Once we got that where we want it to be, it's all clean and dry and ready to go. And the tape will behave for me. Let's see here. Sometimes tape misbehaves. So what we do is sometimes I'll double my tape up if it's a really big image or whatever, but I'm gonna make sure that sits right there in the middle and it's good and sealed. Corners off here. And I will re-squeegee my image to make sure it's good and pressed down. And then what I do is the transfer tape, we're going to peel the corner up and it'll lift the image. And we'll peel it to the edge of the tape. And sometimes what I'll do is if I'm by myself, I'll just tape it like that to kind of hold it in place. And then I'll take my scissors and I'll cut the backing out. Like so. This is where it's nice, especially if it's a larger image, to have two hands. And you can go over this way. You can kind of have someone gently keep the image above and then squeegee at the same time. And try to just a little bit at a time. You're only taking down about 1/4 of an inch at a time. Okay, beautiful. So we'll make sure that's good and squeegeed on. Now we can take our painter's tape off because the transfer tape is holding us where we need to be. You have to excuse the coughing. We've been sick for the last month. It's been a nightmare. Anyway. Now we'll lift the whole backing and everything together, and we'll peel from this side. If the image starts to come with the backing, what I do is I'll go back and I'll squeegee again. A lot of times I squeegee even before I start. I make sure that image is good stuck to the transfer tape. I'll pull the whole thing over. Now I'm lifting the backing at a little bit of an angle and try to keep it flat. just like so. And we'll take our squeegee, and we got someone holding it. We're just taking off a little bit of an angle at a time. Just a light pressure is all you need. And then once it's on, we'll give it a good squeegee. Make sure it's pressed down good and hard. And then we grab our transfer tape, and the adhesive on the image is stronger than the bond on the transfer tape. So the image stays in place. And it's exactly where you want it to be, and that's how you want it to go.